School of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 011 titled Social Processes and Behavioral Issues for MBA Program. Presenting Block 4 titled Emerging Trends. Unit 15 Positive Approaches to Work Behavior Part 2.
Organizational spirituality. In a research correlating workplace spirituality and performance, Jerkiewicz and Gyakulin suggest a positive link moderated through greater employee motivation, commitment, and adaptability and flexibility towards organizational change. They propose the following values framework for performance-enhancing workplace spirituality: benevolence, generativity, humanism, integrity, justice, mutuality, receptivity, respect, responsibility, and trust. Spirituality in the workplace can bind employees to the company and enhance job performance. Furthermore, organizations that offer spiritually oriented goals provide opportunities to experience higher sense of service and greater personal growth. These in turn lead to better teamwork, organizational commitment, and ultimately performance. Spirituality at work can be understood as the recognition that employees have an inner life that nourishes and is nourished by meaningful work that takes place in the context of community. Thus, spirituality at work addresses three aspects pertaining to inner life, meaningful work, and community. The spirituality performance connection is enabled by leaders who possess a strong spirit-friendly orientation. Indeed, the leaders in the better performing units showed higher spirituality scores than the leaders in the lower performing units. Practical application. Spiritual intelligence is something everyone has but few learn to develop. Rational intelligence manages facts and information using logic and analysis to make decisions. Emotional intelligence is necessary to understand and control one's emotions and feelings while being sensitive to the feeling of others. Spiritual intelligence, on the other hand, is necessary 1. To find and use the deepest inner resources from which comes the capacity to care and the power to tolerate and adapt. 2. To develop a clear and stable sense of identity as an individual in the context of shifting workplace relationships. 3. To be able to discern the real meaning of events and circumstances and be able to make work meaningful. 4. To identify and align personal values with a clear sense of purpose. 5. To live those values without compromise and thereby demonstrate integrity by example. 6. To understand where and how each of the above is sabotaged by the ego, which means being able to understand and influence true cause. Contribution of spiritual intelligence to effective managerial leadership. The spiritual qualities and themes such as confidence in the meaning and purpose of life, a sense of mission in life, and a vision for the betterment of the world tie into the inspirational elements of leaders and to those models of relationship that highlight the leader's role in defining and mobilizing meaning. Researchers have explored the spiritual dimensions of leadership by proposing a transcendental leadership theory that hierarchically integrates and extends the transactional and transformational theories of leadership. Transcendental leadership, in their view, comprises three dimensions of spirituality: consciousness, moral character, and faith. As leaders grow in their spiritual development along these dimensions, they develop greater awareness and intuition along the consciousness dimension, are guided by an internalized set of universal values along the moral dimensions, and are more inner-directed along the faith dimension. These developments lead to internal locus of control and greater leadership effectiveness. Effective leaders manifest greater self-awareness and self-knowledge, which are the components of spiritual intelligence. Another important aspect of spiritual intelligence, namely exhibiting inner directedness in the form of creativity, is important for effective leadership. There is an increasing interest in the integration of spirituality into business leadership in order to articulate and mobilize meaning and to provide inspirational motivation to employees. Studies suggest that several SQ abilities relating to meaning, intuition, self knowledge and self awareness, and egolessness and humility may contribute to effective business leadership. Leaders lead by articulating a vision and mobilizing meaning. The dissemination of meaning happens through symbolic management that communicates a set of beliefs and values. This symbolic management is done through the evocation of emotion. These leadership paradigms go beyond what is termed transactional leadership that involves managing and manipulating rewards. Spiritual leadership theory, SLT, was developed within an intrinsic motivation model that incorporates vision, hope or faith, and altruistic love. SLT contains three main qualities of leadership. A. Vision defines the destination and journey reflecting high ideals and standards for excellence. B. Altruistic love provides for a sense of wholeness, harmony, and well-being produced through care, concern, and appreciation for self and others. And C. Hope or faith fostering endurance, perseverance, do what it takes attitude, reaching for stretch goals with an optimistic expectation of victory and excellence. A sense of meaning and calling in one's work and organizational membership, in turn, supports organizational commitment, effort, and productivity, leading to higher organizational effectiveness. Contribution of spiritual intelligence to effective employee engagement. Spiritual intelligence integrates the subjective experiential themes of spirituality associated with meaning, sacred experiences, interconnectedness, and transcendence and applies them to the tasks involved in living in order to enhance functioning, adaptation, and well-being to produce products that are valuable within a cultural context or community. As spiritual intelligence includes the ability to utilize trans-rational modes of knowing such as institution, CEOs who can use multiple levels of consciousness that transcend linear and logical thinking may indeed make better decisions and solve problems more holistically and effectively. Incorporating spirituality at work provides organizational members a sense of community and connectedness, thus increases their attachment, loyalty, and belonging to the organization. Spirituality provides employees a sense of community and connectedness, increasing their attachment, loyalty, and belonging to the organization. Providing employees a sense of community and connectedness is critical in today's workplaces and corporations. Feeling part of a community and sharing a common purpose are two dimensions that have been frequently associated with workplace spirituality. A sense of connection and interconnectedness to something larger than oneself has also been considered an important part of spirit at work. The consequences of spiritual experiences at work are discussed in the literature, including higher levels of employee attachment, loyalty, and belonging. Consequences of spiritual relationships include intimacy, wholeness, authenticity, altruism, and integrity. Perspectives of spiritual intelligence. 5 different perspectives are derived from the literature on how spiritual intelligence influences organization behavior, leadership behavior, employee well-being, and culture and support organization performance based on the extant literature. A. Spiritual intelligence enhances employees' emotional intelligence and social intelligence. B. Spiritual intelligence improves the employee's quality of life and well-being. C. Employee with higher spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence exhibit a sense of purpose and meaning for their life and hence work. D. Spiritual intelligence transforms employees to feel a sense of interconnectedness and socially responsible. E. Spiritual intelligence fosters evolved and inclusive behavior among employees and leaders. Practical steps toward a better SQ. Zohar and Marshall recommend 7 practical steps towards a better SQ. 1. Become aware of where I am now. 2. Feel strongly what I want to change. 3. Reflect on what my own center is and on my deepest motivations. 4. Discover and dissolve obstacles. 5. Explore many possibilities to proceed forward. 6. Commit myself to a path. 7. Remain aware that there are many paths. 6 paths towards greater spiritual intelligence. 1. Conventional, the path of duty. 2. social, the path of nurturing. 3. Investigate. 4. Artistic, path of personal transformation. 5. Realistic, path of brotherhood. 6. Enterprising, path of servant leadership. Emotional intelligence. Over the last 2 decades, organizations have seen a fundamental shift in management style. Roles have become more customer oriented and knowledge based with the need to work as a team. This has resulted in individuals having more overall autonomy even at fairly low levels within organizations. This has created organizational cultures that are less autocratic with only a few levels of management. The very nature of such organizations has allowed those with highly developed social skills to be as successful as those who excel academically. The historical timeline of social or emotional shows this is not a new concept, but one that over time has gained general agreement as a key element of workplace success. Studies are confirming the importance of being present to our emotions at work. The result has a greater long-term impact on the bottom line than quality improvement programs or monetary incentives. In fact, there is now concrete evidence demonstrating that interpersonal skills are a greater predictor of success over technical and intellectual competencies. Concept of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EI, is the summative of abilities, competencies, and skills that signify a collection of knowledge in order to cope with life effectively. Therefore, it is closely related to the personal and professional growth of individuals who have to take decisions under stressful and difficult situations. EI is the ability to recognize and understand your emotions and your skill at using this awareness to manage yourself and your relationship with others. Developed as a psychological theory, it was defined by Peter Salovey and John Mayer as the ability to perceive emotions, to access and generate emotions so as to assist thought, to understand emotions and emotional knowledge, and to reflectively regulate emotions so as to promote emotional and intellectual growth. The construct of emotional intelligence refers to the individual differences in the perception, processing, regulation, and utilization of emotional information. As these differences have been shown to have a significant impact on important life outcomes. Models of emotional intelligence. There are 3 main emotional intelligence models which include 1. The Trait Emotional Intelligence Model. Trait emotional intelligence or trait emotional self-efficacy is described as a constellation or behavior, dispositions, and self-perceptions regarding a person's ability to recognize, process, and utilize emotional-laden information, where the trait emotional intelligence should be measured within the framework of an individual's personality. The trait emotional intelligence is measured by numerous tools of self-report and include the EQ, the 6 Seconds Emotional Intelligence Assessment, the Swinburne University Emotional Intelligence Test, and the Shuttle Self-Report Emotional Intelligence Test. 2. Emotional Intelligence Model based on ability. This model maintains emotions as vital information sources that enable a person to make good use of the social environment. According to the model, an individual's ability to process emotional information varies from one person to another, and certain adaptive behaviors manifest themselves in this ability. The model thus goes further to propose 4 ability types that include A. Perceiving of emotions, B. Using of emotion, C. Understanding emotions, and D. Initiating the emotions. After developing this model, it signaled the development of a measurement instrument that was named after its advocates, Mayer-Salovey-Caruso Emotional Intelligence Test, which is based on various emotion-based problem-solving items. The ability of a person is measured on the 4 branches of emotional intelligence, which then generates a score for each branch and eventually the total score. 3. Mixed models of emotional intelligence. Included in the mixed emotional intelligence model are Goleman's emotional competencies and Baron's emotional social intelligence model. Several studies have shown that emotional intelligence has considerable impact on the performance at work helps to steer the social intricacies of the workplace, lead and motivate others, and outshine in career. It also affects physical health by managing the stress levels, which, if left uncontrolled, can lead to serious health problems. It is well established in numerous psychological reports that major step to improving emotional intelligence is to learn how to relieve stress, which in turn will also improve your mental health. By understanding one's emotions and how to control them, person is able to express how to feel and understand others' feeling. This permits communicating more successfully and developing stronger relationships both at work and in personal life. Three of these models are discussed in detail. Bar-On's model. Reuven Bar-On has retained emotional intelligence in the framework of personality theory, specifically a model of well-being. Bar-On's model of emotional intelligence relates to the potential for performance and success instead of performance or success itself, and is considered process-oriented rather than outcome-oriented. It focuses on a range of emotional and social abilities, including the ability to be aware of, understand, and express oneself, the ability to be aware of, understand, and relate to others, the ability to deal with strong emotions, and the ability to adapt to change and solve problems of a social or personal nature. In his model, Bar-On summarizes 5 components of emotional intelligence that include intrapersonal, interpersonal, adaptability, stress management, and general mood. Bar-On postulates that emotional intelligence develops over time and that it can be improved through training, programming, and therapy. Meyer and Salovey's 4-branch model of emotional intelligence. Pure theory of Salovey and Meyer of emotional intelligence proposes that emotional intelligence is comprised of 2 areas, experiential and strategic. Mixed model of emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman observes emotional intelligence as a mixed intelligence involving cognitive ability and personality aspects. He has promoted the notion of emotional intelligence and formulated it in terms of a theory of job and work performance. According to Goleman, 5 primary domains characterize emotional intelligence. 1. Self-awareness is recognizing your strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, and emotions. It is knowing your own feelings, assessing capabilities, and understanding weaknesses. 2. Self-regulation is managing your strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, and emotions. It is the ability to control outbursts, disruptive impulses, and moods. It also encourages think before acting attitude. 3. Internal motivation focuses on meeting goals, taking initiatives, maintaining excellence, and optimism. It is the passion to work for internal reasons such as personal joy, curiosity, or mental satisfaction. 4. Empathy is the ability to understand and respond to other people's feeling and emotion. It requires reading the feelings and understanding the needs of others. 5. Social skill is the ability to negotiate the needs and feelings of others to that of yours. It is the proficiency in managing relationships and building networks and an ability to find common ground. Applications of emotional intelligence. EI can be a valuable tool for an administrator and manager in government or any company. Since research on emotional intelligence began, results overwhelmingly show that people high in various combinations of emotional competencies outperform people who are weak in those areas. When emotional competencies are used in leader selection, for example, performance and retention rates increase significantly. The research shows that the most successful people, those who consistently outperform their peers, exhibit more of the skills and traits known as emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence and leadership. High-performing leaders tend to have higher emotional intelligence than their peers. For example, we have many examples of a more successful non-technical CEO in a technical company compared to a technical CEO. The reason is that EI becomes more decisive factor rather than IQ in many areas of leadership. Goleman believed that leaders with high in emotional intelligence are the key of organizational success. Goleman stated that, as leaders, they must have the ability to know employees' feelings, especially in the workplace environment, to interfere when trouble occurs among the employees, able to control their own feeling, and able to realize the political and social interventions within an organization. Effective leadership basically correlated with the ability of the leaders to establish confidence among employees, respect and intelligently build relationship with the employees. Emotional intelligence and team building. Emotional intelligence has a significant impact on team member relationships and their effectiveness in reaching a team's goal. Understanding our own EI strengths and weaknesses, as well as those of other team members, provides a means for improving the interpersonal dynamics of teamwork. EI training can help team members learn how 1. Individual EI fits with the EI of other team members, managers, clients, etc. 2. Work assignments can be made and accomplished more effectively. 3. To improve communication. 4. To minimize the negative aspects of conflict. 5. To present information most effectively. 6. To design more effective problem-solving groups. 7. To assist team members in maximizing their individual and collective strengths. Emotional intelligence and conflict. Emotional intelligence significantly influences how we go about solving interpersonal problems. Thus, conflict in organizations often stems from EI differences. Understanding how to use our EI more effectively helps us solve interpersonal problems more effectively and efficiently and increases the overall effectiveness of work teams. When people understand the basics of how they are different from each other and their strengths and weaknesses, they can take steps to reduce conflict and become more accepting. EI training can help to manage conflict, which might include 1. Overcoming EI differences. 2. Problem solving. 3. Emotional dynamics. 4. Working together. Summary. Today's workplace is a battle zone with constant fights for market share, visibility, top of mind, revenues, profitability, and talent. As in any war, in the office too, it is the people who invariably get impacted. Pressure to perform amidst workplace and environment challenges tells on employee morale, engagement, and wellness, and it takes a toll, stress, and dissatisfaction. Today's crisis is a spiritual one in the world at large and in the workplace as well. Helping people identify themselves and enhance their own SQ is a good way to improve engagement, interpersonal connections, and the general ease of working together while keeping stress down. Emotional intelligence influences organizational effectiveness in a number of areas such as to identify and recruit top talent and retaining them, identify potential leaders in its ranks and prepare them to move up, make better use of the special talents available in a diverse workforce, development of talent, helping people to be motivated, committed, creative, innovative, and to cope with massive rapid change, teamwork, employee commitment, morale, and health, innovation, productivity, efficiency, sales, etc. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify and understand emotions and their impact on behavior and attitudes. Those who have a high degree of emotional intelligence are in tune with both their own emotions and the emotion of other people with whom they come in contact. Recently, focus on understanding emotions in organizations has resulted in increased attention to the role of emotional intelligence.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program. Course code Mmpc 011 titled Social Processes and Behavioral Issues. Course Coordinator Professor Srilata. Voiceover by Renuka. Edited by Ashok Sharma. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.